Here we go, 96. Occasio Sextus Roscio. So, Blade of Absolute. With Sextus Roscius killed, or after this happened, quiz primus. Who was the first? Miriam, we've got movement in the accusative. So, who was the first to Ameria and who enunciated this? So, who announced this first? Who did the travelling there and announced it? Malleus Glaucia. There's the name in the response. Quem, whom? Yam already, it's past yam. Antia, before I have nominavid, I've named. Tuus cliens, it's your client. And familiaris, someone who's a friend of yours. So things are getting interesting. Quid attenet, what's this attain to him, or what's this got to do with him? Potissimum, spell if he, just take it preferably for now, or he was chosen most especially to enunciate, to announce this, quad, which, see, if, I might say unless, it might be a better way, because there's nullem, this is nothing, yam, already. So why would your client and friend, what the hell has this got to do with him? Why would he be the one coming to the town and announcing, if not anti-conciliating, or before you had some plan, de morte, concerning the death of Sextus Roscius, and eos means his, and concerning his goods, in inerus, being you have entered into, and here's the qui, and nullem society, no alliances, nor sceleris, nor crime, neither a premie, neither would there be a reward, would you have entered into with ulo hominon, with any man. And ad te, to you, how does this pertain to you? Minime of all, least of all, how does it got concern anything of you? Why would your client be running to this town to announce that Sextus Roscius is dead and it's got absolutely nothing to do with you? And suddenly, all of a sudden, you've claimed this other guy's killed him and you've got all these goods. And as an expert of declamations, Cicero is just coming up with possible responses. Sua sponte, Malleus nuntius, of his own accord. Sua sponte, Malleus has just done this of his own. It's got nothing to do with me. And so, quid, what, please, or I entreat you, what has this got to do with inter erat? Means it's inter sum, inter esse. What has this got to do with him? Why would he do this of his own accord? And then ends more of an or question. So, and whether cum Ameria, so when he's come to Ameria, there's the venisse, which means when he'd come there, and if it was non-huis grae causa, not for the reason of this, huis is emphatic in that pronoun. So, if he's come there not for this reason to announce it, did he casu acid, did it happen by chance, or that which will because which things at Rome he had heard primus first he come to announce. So, in other words, if he didn't come here for the sake of explaining this death, and he'd come here by chance, how come he was the first person at Rome to even have heard this news? Quis re causa, as we know, causa goes as post-positive to a genitive, so was the cause of this reason that he had venerate, that he had come to Ameria? Here's a strange place to put a comma. I'm not able, inquit, he says, to divinare. I'm not able to divine or to guess. Eo rem, yam adducere. So, okay, I will adducere, I'll lead this matter then. I'll lead you down the garden path, so that nothing, opus sit, opus est, opus sit means is needed, so that nothing is needed in the blade. No divination, no guessing's necessary, is what he's saying. Qua ration, by what reasoning, or which reasoning? T Roscius capitio, this is dative. Why was this announced? Announced takes the dative. Why was it announced primo? Actually, primo's got the O in it as well. So, what reasoning was it announced to Titus Roscius capitio first? Cum, when at Ameria, the place where he went, Sextus Roscius, looks like it's genitive. So there was at his domus, which is his house, their essent there was an uxor, a wife, and libri, and there were children of Sextus Roscius at the house. When tot propinque, these are people who are near him by marriage, and cognates, these people who were near him by blood, I believe. So at his house, he had wife, children, he had relatives by marriage, he had blood relatives, convenientes. They all met together in the best sort of circumstances. They were on good ground with each other. Qua ration again. By what reasoning, factum est, was it done that isti, this bloke, to a client, your client, was the nuntius, the announcer of your sceleris, of your crime, and he's the one who preferably did this of his own power, and he announced this to Titus Roscius. So instead of going to the house of the guy who's dead to tell his family, you've raced there to tell the guy who stole all his land. So it's a pretty good argument, really. 97. Occisus est, he was killed, rediens, present participle, returning a cenna, from a dinner. It was non dum, it was not yet lucubating, the light was not shining, cum when scitum est, this was known at Ameria. So he's in Rome, coming back from dinner, he's dead before daylight. This is well known throughout Ameria, so it was good news for someone. Quid hic incredibilis cursus, so what does this incredible journey, curses can mean running even, quid haec, what do these things significant, what do they signify? Tanta celeratus and festination. Celeratus is speed and festination is haste. They're both words for going fast. So what the hell was this incredible running from, he might have had a horse or something. Why was he in such a hurry to get there to announce this to a guy who wasn't anything to do with it? In other words, what's this signify, this incredible speed and haste, etc.? Looks like he's getting reassuring now. Non quaera, I'm not asking who percusserit, I'm not saying who killed him. Nothing est glauca quod metuus, there's nothing which you should be fearing glaucia. Non excutio, I'm not shaking you. Sequis, if there's something, forte by chance, you happen to be having ferro of iron, so he's not shaking him down, he's not asking about that, who actually killed him, he's looking for a sword. Non scrutor, that's a very short sentence, so he's not scrutinising him basically. Nihil ad me arbitro pertaining, so with me as a witness or as an arbiter, nothing pertaining or attaining to himself, he's just speaking openly, making enemies while he's doing it. Okay, so it really doesn't matter to me, but quoniam sense, cuis concilio occasus sit invenio, since I've found out whose plan this murder was, who planned the murder, cuis mene, by whose hand, who percussid, who did the hitting or the blow itself, he's not labouring over it, so he's not really concerned, he's more concerned with the guy who planned the murder and hired him, it looks like. Unum hoc sumo, I shall take up this one thing with a sumo wrestler. Okay? Quod, which to me is open tuum scelus, your crime, and gives the res can mean circumstances or facts, makes them manifest. Where, ubi, or undi, or from where, did Glaucia audivit? Where did he hear that this murder had actually taken place when he ran off in such a hurry to announce it? Qui tam Cito skibit. So skibit means he learnt this so quickly. This qui is probably how. How did he learn it so quickly? Fac or disistatum. So fact means make or imagine that immediately he had heard it. So there was a death and he immediately heard about it. Que res eum. So what matter of circumstances in una nocte, in one night, cogited, forced him contendere to hasten tantum itinerus, such of a journey. It looks like partitive. Was he forced to do this in one night? You know, the guy's dead. Why would you need to instantly know it? Quae necessitas. What's the necessary eum that he was tanta premabat? He was so pressed or urged, or that if sua sponte, by his own accord or will, he had facerated, he had made this journey in the accusative to Ameria, id temporis Roma, so he had set out proficiscid at this time from Rome, and he had nullum partem noctis, no part of the night he had even rested. So I was walking down the street, I heard some guy had been murdered, so I decided not to sleep that night. I decided to just go full bore to some place and then not announce to the people in his family, but to go to this other guy who ended up stealing all his estates. That's a good Ciceronian argument. Chapter 98, etiamne. So even in tam perspicuous rebus, in such perspicuous or clear matters, querenda should be searched, an argument or a wouldn't really be argument in English, but or should capienda should be taken conjecture. So should facts and conjectures and guessings be sought when the matters are so clear? You might want to say. Nonne. Surely, or surely not to you, these things, quae, hate quae, Odysseus, these things which you have heard, Eutyches, that's the vocative version, the gentlemen of the jury, are you not able to see and to discern with your eyes, basically, what's going on? Do you not see the illum miserum, this pitiable man, ignarum causa sui, ignorant of his own fate, radiuntum, present participium, returning from a dinner, viditus, do you see it? Non positus, do you not see the insidious, the ambush posited for him or placed out for him where they were going to do it? Non the impetum, not the suddenness, or repetitum is actually suddenness of the attack. Don't you just see this all in your brains? Don't you see what you've heard? Non versiters, they're not dwelling, Antiochus, before your eyes, Vobis to you, that this Glaucia is involved in the cade, in the slaughter. Non ades, not isn't it present he, Titus Roscius, who we're talking about? Isn't he here? So the guy brought the news, Titus Roscius, who got all the property. Everything's here right before your eyes, gentlemen. Non suis manibus, not with his own hands in the curro, in the chariot, conlocating, placing illum auto maiden. This is a really fast chariot driver, a charioteer of Achilles. And acerbissimi, the most bitterest, basically, sui skelos of his crimes, and the nefarious. So, if we go back to the illum automatum in the accusative, we have the apposition for nuntium there. So, he's put this guy in the chariot, a really fast driver. He's the announcer of this nefarious victory, the victory over killing a guy, and of this very foul, bitter crime. Non orat ut, not begging that he be pervigilant, em noctem, that night. Pervigilant means there's no sleep, extremely awake in his chariot going on, that he laboured, ut taking the labouret. Causa, again behind the genitive, for honoris suis, for his sake, he laboured through this night, sleepless, that quam primum, that usually means as quickly as possible, he would nuntiorate, he would announce this to Titus Roscius Capitoni. Nearly done. 99. Quiderat, what is there that he wanted, validated, scire prim, first to know, Capitionem. So why did this fast charioteer really want this guy Capito, to know first? Nescio, I don't know. Nisi, unless or except video hoc, I see this. Capitionem in his bonus as a socium. He's a socium, or he has a part in the goods of the murdered man. I don't know how they exactly divided up the booty, but Cicero's explaining it pretty well. De tribus et decem. So, with regards to these 13 fundus farms, tris nobilissimus fundus, the three most well-known, or the most expensive ones, you might want to say, I see, him, posidare. So, what was his share? His socium in the goods. What was his share of the goods? From 13 farms, this guy owns the three best ones. Might as well bring up a word here. This is the basic, not the superlative, but noble highborn it usually means, but distinct and most celebrated. So most distinct, the three most distinct or celebrated farms it was. Anyway, 100. Audio. I hear, praeterea, besides, non-hanks, this suspicion, non, is not the first to be conferred on Capitani. So this isn't the first time he's been suspected of doing this sort of things. Multas esse infamis eos palmas. So there are many palms or victories that are infamous to him. Hanc primum esse tamen. So the lemnitis, whatever the hell that word is, lemniscata palmas, they are a palm branch or crown ornamented with hanging coloured ribbons, which were considered the victor's highest rewards. Quae Roma, so these were deferred on him at Rome. So he's had many of these victories of getting properties, it looks like, yet still, which were done at Rome. But this is actually outside of Rome, where he's got these estates. Okay, nearly done. So this was the first to be brought from Rome. Nullum modum, there's no way, occendi, that's the gerund again, of killing men, quo, by which or in which, illi he, non aliquot, a killer, hasn't killed them in some way. So there's no way in which he hasn't killed men. Multos means he's killed many men by iron, so with a sword or a dagger, and multos by veneno, this is poison. So he's a pretty experienced murderer. Habeo etiam dicere. I have even to say, him whom, contra morem maiorum, against the custom of our ancestors, whom, minorem than 60 years of age, he had thrown, decorated, from the bridge into the Tiber. Of course, there's lots of conjecture about exactly what's going on there. Quae, which things, see predator, if he comes forwards, at qui aem, and by him, when prodira, when he does come forwards, scia, I know, audiet, he shall hear this, proditurum, when he does come forwards. So basically, Cicero knows about this guy's crimes. He says, if or when he comes forwards, I know he will, scio, he shall hear these things. Is it actually is this correct spelling? What have we got here? Yeah, I guess so. Actually, we've got adio in this other translation, but that'll do for the day.